Hello, welcome back. Welcome if you're new here. My name is Lisa, and from the title of this video, this is part 2 of my wedding series. If you haven't checked out part 1, maybe you will do that first just because I share a little bit more context of my wedding in December on that video. So, you guys, last week I couldn't even vlog, I couldn't create a video. I was very overwhelmed planning my wedding, and that made me think I would like to create a video that shares my experience so far planning my own wedding. If you're like me and need to be hands-on and need to be involved in everything and really can't pass over a project to anyone, especially a project this big as your wedding day, then you've come to the right video, just because I share my experience on how I've been getting on, how things have been coming up that I really didn't expect to come up, and maybe some knowledge that I can share with you just so you don't experience anything that you did not know you had to do. If you are the type of person that would like to hire a wedding planner, that is also great. I mean, I know one of my best friends is a wedding planner. I will leave her information down below. She does weddings all over the US and she is amazing at what she does. She is superwoman. I can't explain it. But to have a career like that, planning just one wedding on my own, I really don't know how they do it. So if you would like to contact her, I will leave her information down below. She is the best. In this video, I will be telling you about my experience as a non-wedding planner. I really did take to YouTube and go on the internet and just kind of try to draw out any information that I could prior to starting to plan my wedding. But to be honest with you, the knowledge that you get from wedding planners and I don't know, a lot of the other videos that I saw on YouTube, they were of brides that already had been married and just their wedding overall. I kind of didn't really get as much takeaway. That is why I decided to start this video now in the midst of my wedding planning process, just so you guys can see just the raw, what you go through, things you need to really focus on during the planning process, if that makes sense. So I wanted to share this with you, share my experience, and I wanted to break it down into 6 different parts that I think are important while planning. So I have a bunch of notes here just because I really don't want to start rambling. So if you see me looking down at any point, just know I'm just trying to stay on track and keep this video short and sweet for you guys. First point is establishing a budget. Whether you are funding the wedding yourself or like me, where I am fortunate that my family is helping in some way to fund my wedding. My husband and I are also funding part of the wedding. You really should stay aware of your budget. Things do add up, and this is one of the biggest things that I have taken away so far. I did not expect these certain things to start to just add up, and it's super important that you really, when reaching out to vendors, when looking at venues, you need to ask important questions and you need to really ask everything. Don't feel like you're being annoying. It's very important because sometimes this information isn't even provided in the brochures they send you. You really need to ask what the venue provides. You know, do they provide tables and chairs, or will you need to rent that? And that's an additional cost. Do they provide servers? Do they provide coffee? My venue doesn't provide espresso, so I had to rent out a espresso cart because my husband is from Europe and that is all they drink here. So there's just the little things that I think you should really know, that you can establish a budget and you can say, okay, this much for a venue, this much for a DJ, this much for, but there's things that add up. So just make sure you're asking all of the questions. making sure you're knowing how much the taxes and additional fees will be, because those also are super important as well to know. The thing along with that is tipping your vendors. You have to take that into consideration as well when you're booking your DJ, your florist, your photographer. Super important to tip your staff. It's like anything you do in life. You get your hair done, you get your nails done, you go to a restaurant, you go to dinner. These people are working for you. It is really super courteous to tip. So you can also consider that in your budget, because when you have 5 different vendors, you will need to really consider how much you will be tipping them and how that affects your budget. There's some facts on the internet where they give you different percentages that you can take and say this is the normal. So I would suggest looking there, but it really is up to you, and just know that these people are working for you and trying to make your special day as amazing as possible. So I would highly consider tipping your staff. Number 2 is make sure you look at all the details. I did touch upon this in number 1, but really make sure that you're looking at everything when booking a vendor. Like I mentioned, if certain vendors have minimums that you need to hit. I know the venue I had to hit a certain minimum just to have that venue. You need to really ask all the questions. One thing that is super important, if you are planning your own wedding like I am and you do not have a wedding planner, ask the venue if they provide a day of coordinator. It is super important for you to have a day of coordinator on your wedding day, just because you will not be running around coordinating the wedding while you're walking down the aisle. You don't want to have any stress. You want everything to run smoothly. They coordinate where the guest will go, making sure everything is ready, making sure who's on time, making sure the vendors are in the right place, making sure the vendors get tipped out after. It is super important. So if your venue does not provide a day of coordinator, I would highly suggest you ask that question and then start reaching out ASAP for day of coordinators, because that is something you just really cannot do without. Number 3 is sticking to your own personal aesthetic. While it's fantastic to see all these different weddings on social media, Pinterest boards, I think it's important to stay true to who you and your fiance are, and that really reflects in your wedding. And in my opinion, being a guest at previous weddings, that really shines through, and staying true to yourself, that really makes your day that much better. 4 is trying to plan as much as you can in advance. So I got engaged June 2nd of 2021. I had well over a year to plan my wedding, which I did start out fast, but then I got a little slow again. But I think it's super important, if you want certain vendors, if you really don't want to be overwhelmed getting near to your wedding, to start in advance, just because these people do book up super quick. I mean, I reached out to some people in 2021 and they were booked out to 2023. So I really would suggest reaching out to vendors. Like I had mentioned in my previous video, the Knot is an amazing resource where you can search any area and a ton of vendors will pop up, and you can find whoever you're looking for there with budget. You could just reach out right on the website, and they will respond to you there. So say if you are doing a destination like I am, it is important because I will need to travel to that location before my wedding for the food tasting, for the cake tasting, to meet with my day of coordinator. So I think it's also important that you book those things in advance and take those into consideration as well, just because they are super important. So that is another thing that you will need to add to your list and make sure you do not forget. Sorting out your wedding band would be tragic if you didn't have your wedding bands the day of your wedding, and those take some time to order, so I would definitely sort those out at least 6 months in advance. And purchasing the small things like your invites, your table numbers, your signage, things like that, that really do start to add up. And maybe if you're ordering off of certain sites that do have some time to make these things, then I would highly suggest that you start to plan those in advance as well. Number 5, I think you should definitely take the wedding timelines you see online with a grain of salt. You know, some things, these different 24 milestone timelines, they could get stressful. They could make you think, okay, what am I not doing? What am I missing? Definitely take them with a grain of salt. There's things that you might not do for your wedding. There's things that I did not do. I did not take engagement photos. I did not have an engagement party. They're just something that my now husband and I really didn't feel that we need. To each their own. I mean, there's certain things that maybe you don't feel like you need, and it is definitely something that you should take a look at deeper and just really look at the timeline and think, okay, that is not something that really interests us. We don't really need that. And don't let those things stress you out online, just because I know can get very overwhelming and they can make you think you're missing something, but definitely take those with a grain of salt. Number 6, which I have been really preaching to my own self these past couple weeks, is just do what's best for you and your partner. You know, I am a big people pleaser. I like to make sure the person next to me is good before I am. I have always been like that, and this is, remember, your day, your and your fiance, your husband's day. All that matters is that you two are happy and it is the best day of your life. It is nice to think about your guests and it is nice to do things for them, but at the end of the day, what matters most is how you both feel, and just that is all that matters. And I know it could be hard for people pleasers like me to really dive deep and just say, okay, I need to just, I don't need to do that one thing when it should only be about you, and that is all. So really just don't overwhelm yourself with that, and just know that that wedding day is for you and your fiance only. And that's it. So you guys, I hope I didn't ramble too much. That is my current takeaway of planning my wedding. We are about 4 months out of the wedding, and I'm flying back to the US in a couple of weeks, and I have a bunch of milestone wedding things happening that I will definitely take you guys with me through. And if you have any questions, please leave them down below. I will happily answer them to the best of my ability. Or if you just want to vent and you're overwhelmed planning your own wedding as well, you can definitely vent to me.
Also, we received 1/2 of our invites. We need to have 2 sets of invites, as one set will be for the Switzerland and Europe guests, and those will be in German, and the rest will be in English. And I'll send those out when I get back to the States, but these are our German invites, and they're really sweet, and they're one of those like trifolds. They're super cute. They come with like rope and these really cute little attachable things that you go on outside of the envelope. These are from Etsy, and we opted to go with Etsy for the Swiss version just because it was definitely the most affordable. And honestly, they are beautiful. I will link this Etsy shop down below for you guys. I will link where I got the US invites down for you guys. But that is definitely another thing that you need to remember while planning your wedding, especially when you are doing a destination, as they should definitely be sent out a bit earlier for your guests. And so yeah, I wanted to show you guys those. Let's get those out today.
You guys, I wanted to end this video on a high note just because I know we went through a lot, but I picked up the TikTok viral Zara dress, and by the way, I did not know it was viral. I am not so avid on TikTok, I'll get there, but if you see this dress in store, pick it up. It is amazing. It is like a miracle dress. It hugs you in all the right places. I'll show you. So this is the dress. I mean, it has this cute little cutout detail. Don't mind, it's very wrinkly right now. The fabric is amazing. It has a lot of coverage, has a little strappy back detail, and I think it's perfect length and everything for really any wedding thing you have going on, whether it's like your bridal shower, your bachelorette, your rehearsal dinner, your engagement party, anything. On your wedding day, it doesn't matter. I think it is perfect and it is a good price point. I think it was like maybe 60 francs. I don't remember, but amazing. Anyway, I'm gonna end the vlog here, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was insightful. I hope I can answer any of your questions down below, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye, guys.